Why you can't stay focused, and how to fix it. Let's be honest, we've all been there. You sit down with a clear intention to tackle a big project, study for a crucial exam, or even just focus on a simple task, and within minutes, your mind is wandering. Suddenly, checking your phone seems like a vital life-or-death necessity, and the dust motes floating in the sunlight become an intensely fascinating subject. It's frustrating and often leaves us feeling guilty or inadequate. But what if the problem isn't a lack of willpower, but rather a more complex interplay of environmental, biological, and psychological factors that are actively sabotaging your attempts at concentration? Understanding these underlying, often overlooked causes is the first and most critical step toward reclaiming your focus. The hidden saboteurs of attention. It's easy to blame the ubiquitous smartphone, but the reality of distraction is far more intricate. Think of your brain's ability to focus like a sophisticated yet temperamental old machine. To run smoothly, it needs the right fuel and maintenance, and a few common culprits are quietly throwing sand in the gears. 1. The dopamine diet and instant gratification trap. Our brains are wired for dopamine, the chemical messenger associated with pleasure and reward. Historically, we got our dopamine hits from successful hunts, finding shelter, or solving complex survival problems. In the modern world, the most immediate and potent source of dopamine comes from the ping of a notification, the endless scroll of a social media feed, or the easy win of a casual game. These activities deliver a massive, immediate, and predictable reward with minimal effort. When you try to switch to a deep work task, one that requires sustained cognitive effort and whose reward is delayed, like finishing a report or mastering a new skill, your brain, having been spoiled by the instant gratification menu, stages a subtle revolt. The task feels boring, difficult, and unrewarding in comparison. This isn't a moral failure, it's a chemical recalibration, where your brain is struggling to value the delayed, bigger reward over the immediate, tiny one. The fix isn't just turning off your phone, it's actively seeking to resensitize your brain's reward pathways. 2. Decision fatigue and cognitive overload. Modern life is a constant barrage of low-stakes decisions. From choosing what to watch on streaming services to deciding which email to answer first, your prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for executive function and focus, is constantly running small calculations. This leads to a phenomenon known as decision fatigue. By the time you sit down to focus on your most important work, your cognitive energy tank is already near empty, just like a muscle that's been doing too many reps. Focus is not an infinite resource. Every time you switch tasks, even briefly, you incur a switching cost, where your brain has to reboot its context. Constantly checking Slack, responding to texts, and then jumping back to a document chews through your mental reserves with startling speed. The feeling of being busy often masks the reality of being highly inefficient due to this constant, frantic context switching. 3. The unseen impact of low-grade stress and environmental noise. Focus requires a state of relative calm in the nervous system. Chronic, low-grade stress, the persistent worry about deadlines, finances, or personal relationships, acts as constant static in your mental reception. Your brain is wired to prioritize threat detection, so if there's an underlying stressor, a portion of your cognitive processing power is always diverted to the surveillance task. Furthermore, environmental factors are crucial. The ideal environment for focus isn't just quiet, it's predictable. An open-plan office, a perpetually cluttered workspace, or even inconsistent background noise, like a TV or a neighbor's unpredictable banging, forces your brain to spend energy filtering out the noise. This filtering process is exhausting, and it dramatically reduces the residual energy available for deep, creative, or analytical thought. The fix: strategic steps to retrain your attention muscle. Repairing your focus isn't about magical hacks. It's about introducing structure and friction back into your life to counter the convenience and chaos of the digital age. 1. The power of intentional, single-tasking blocks. Forget the myth of multitasking. The most effective method for deep work is the focused, single-task block. Try setting aside 45 to 60 minutes where you work on one and only one task. But here's the crucial twist. Before you start, write down the next logical action you will take if you get distracted. For example, if I feel the urge to check my email, I will instead stand up, stretch for 30 seconds, and return to writing the introduction. This preemptive planning bypasses the impulsive dopamine-seeking reaction and guides your brain back to the task at hand. This simple if-then rule is a powerful tool in cognitive behavioral psychology that helps automate better habits. 2. Create friction to make distraction difficult. Since instant gratification is the enemy of focus, the solution is to make instant gratification less instant. Create friction between yourself and the most tempting distractions. The digital firewall. Don't just silence your phone. Put it in a completely different room or in a locked drawer. If you need it for music, use a dedicated music player or use focus mode to block everything but the music app. Even the physical act of getting up and walking to retrieve your phone can be enough friction to snap you out of the impulsive distraction cycle. The batching technique for low-value tasks. Instead of answering emails and messages as they arrive, schedule specific batching times, for example, 10 a.m., 2 p.m. During your focus blocks, the low-level tasks are off-limits. This drastically reduces switching costs and conserves mental energy. 3. Master the skill of mindful boredom. This is perhaps the most unconventional but effective tactic. Our addiction to stimulation means we are pathologically afraid of boredom. Whenever we wait in line, ride an elevator, or pause between tasks, we instinctively reach for our phones. This constant stimulation erodes the very capacity for sustained attention. To fix this, introduce periods of mindful non-doing. Sit quietly for 5 minutes without any input. No phone, no music, no books, no people. Allow your mind to wander, but resist the urge to fill the space. This exercise strengthens the brain's ability to tolerate periods of low stimulation, which is the foundational mental muscle required to stick with a challenging task when the initial novelty wears off. By learning to be okay with boredom, you teach your brain that not every spare moment needs a dopamine rush. 4. The biological foundation: sleep, movement, and hydration. No focus technique can override a physically depleted brain. You can't expect peak cognitive performance if the underlying biology is compromised. The sleep debt. Focus is inextricably linked to the prefrontal cortex's ability to function. Lack of quality sleep impairs this region first, leading to poor impulse control, i.e., you can't resist checking your phone, and reduced working memory. Prioritize 7 to 9 hours of consistent high-quality sleep. Movement breaks. Structured, intentional movement is not a distraction, it's a focus enhancer. Taking a 5-minute walk every hour helps flush metabolic byproducts from the brain and refreshes attention networks. A brisk walk releases BDNF, brain-derived neurotropic factor, a protein that supports the health of neurons and is often referred to as miracle-grow for the brain. The dehydration drain. Even mild dehydration can significantly impact cognitive function, mood, and concentration. Keep a dedicated water bottle on your desk and make consistent hydration a non-negotiable part of your focus regimen. Ultimately, regaining focus isn't about beating yourself up. It's about creating a system that supports your better intentions. It's an act of kindness to your future self and a strategic move to master the highly distracting world we live in. By addressing the deep-seated chemical and psychological reasons for your wandering mind, and by building simple barriers to distraction, you can move from a state of frantic activity to one of powerful, sustained productivity. If you found these insights helpful and are ready to tackle your focus challenges, please take a moment to smash that like button. It tells the algorithm this content is worth sharing. Don't forget to hit subscribe and join our community as we explore more actionable strategies for peak productivity and mental clarity. Let me know in the comments below what your single biggest focus challenge is right now. I read every comment and will use your feedback to shape future deep dive discussions.